host, Johnny Munoz, and I am the Engagement and Stewardship Manager for the Catholic Education Foundation of Los Angeles. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, we thank you for coming out, and we hope that you enjoy this episode. CEF provides tuition awards to thousands of students every year, thanks to the tremendous and passionate support of our donors. We have an exciting and insightful episode in store for you all. Today, we have the privilege of speaking with two current CEF seniors and two administrators from St. Joseph High School in Santa Maria, which is our Santa Barbara pastoral region. Please remember also that we will have this episode, along with all of our other episodes from all of our past seasons, on our website at www.cefdn.org/coffee with CEF. And as I begin my screen share, as we always do week after week, before we get underway, we just want to cover a few housekeeping items to help prepare you for today's session. And so if you can go to the top right corner of your screen, this is where you can select your view of the session. And in order to keep focused on who is speaking at that current moment, we do strongly suggest setting it to speaker view. As you may remember, we do start with all microphones muted. If you're not muted, if you can mute, that'd be awesome. This gives us the best sound quality possible for these episodes. And but with that said, we do encourage you to interact with our guests by entering any questions you may have for them, any kudos, any shout outs, like I said before. Just type those into the chat feature below, and we will attempt to address those throughout the show. And lastly, if you have any questions for us, need to reach out to us with technical difficulties at any point in this morning's session. I also have my colleague Sandra with me behind the scenes, and so she will be fielding all of your questions and concerns and any of the sort behind the scenes to ensure everyone's taken care of. So again, also, we do feel extremely blessed, like I keep saying, for this opportunity to learn from each other weekly. And because of this, we will continue to use the beginning of these sessions to welcome and acknowledge God's presence. So I invite you all to take a few seconds to yourself and thank God for all he has done and continues to do for us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This morning, like I mentioned earlier, we have the honor of hearing from two current CEF seniors who are preparing for their final months of high school, and will be sharing their stories with us on where they're headed and why, which is an exciting moment for anybody to choose their next step in their future. So we're super excited to have them here to share with us all. And we also have the joy of being able to hear from the principal and the assistant principal of community outreach and engagement over at St. Joseph High School in Santa Maria. So with this lineup, we definitely need to make sure we give them a proper introduction. And with that said, we will go ahead and introduce you to them. First up, we do have Miss Erinn Dougherty, principal at St. Joseph High School. Erinn has been dedicated to the field of education for 20 years. She has worked in Catholic schools, public high schools and middle schools, universities, and art programs in many capacities. A full-time school administrator, a tenure-track faculty member at a university, a curriculum developer, and an English teacher, both advanced placement and international baccalaureate trained. She has maintained these roles in addition to being an adjunct professor in several graduate colleges of education as an educational consultant, specializing in faculty and staff professional development and curriculum design solutions. Erinn relocated to the Central Coast with her husband, their daughter, and their dogs, Hamlet and Ophelia, which are amazing dog names. I love that, to join the St. Joseph High School family in 2018. As a principal at St. Joseph High School, Erinn strives to continue the success established by previous administration by building strong relationships with parents, students, faculty, staff, archdiocesan and Josephite communities, and with community partners. During her tenure, enrollment has increased from 335 students on July 1st of 2018 to 423 students as of February 1st this year. So that is an over 20% increase with a wait list for acceptance in just 2 admissions cycles. Her team approach to leadership has helped her administration work collaboratively to meet or exceed all annual goals. Thanks so much for being with us this morning, Erinn.
I'm happy to be here. And Hamlet and Ophelia are Great Danes, so that's a little English teacher pun.
Even better. I love it. Oh, goodness. Next up, we have Pepe Villasenor, Assistant Principal of Community Outreach and Engagement for St. Joseph High School. Pepe is a 1997 graduate of St. Bonaventure High School. After St. Bonnie's, Pepe continued his athletic and academic career at Ohio Wesleyan University, where he was a two-time all-conference player at OWU and graduated with honors cum laude, majoring in economic management and psychology. Oof, that's amazing. 2003, Pepe returned to St. Bonaventure High School, where he taught honors Spanish, coached girls varsity basketball and varsity football. And 2007, Pepe moved to Madrid in Spain, where he worked in international finance and taught at a private university for 3 years. Amazing world traveler. Before joining St. Joseph High School as a coach and administrator, he was a professional athlete overseas and a coach and Spanish teacher at Crespi High School. Pepe lives currently in the Santa Maria Valley with his wife and 2 young children. Thank you for joining us this morning, Pepe. Happy to have you.
Thank you so much for having us. It certainly is a blessing to be here.
Oh, I'm so excited. Thank you so much.
And I love the way you pronounced the name. That was perfect, Munoz. Absolutely perfect.
Gosh, you know what? On the screen, there's no Enya, and I'm sorry, but I just know that it's there. I know it's there, so I had to.
You flowed with it. Excellent job.
Oh, I appreciate that. And we'll jump over now to the spectacular seniors that we have here that are just ready to spread their wings and go. First up, we have Marlee Hernandez. She is a senior at St. Joseph High School. Notably speaking, she has applied to UCLA, UCSB, UC Berkeley, UC Davis, Pepperdine, Cal Lutheran, Loyola Marymount, USC, USD, SDSU, Cal Poly, Boise State, Stanford, and Georgetown. These are amongst the tops, and I love the confidence and being able to get all of that acceptance or those college applications out. And so now we have heard that she has heard back from 7 of those 14, and she's been accepted by all of 7. So congratulations. That's Pepperdine, Cal Lutheran, Loyola Marymount, USD, SDSU, Cal Poly, and Boise State. Marlee plays tennis for the school, is the valedictorian, and is active in service. Marlee, thank you for taking time out of your busy day to be here with us.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm looking forward to talking with you guys today.
As are we. Thank you so much. And last but certainly not least, we have Tyler Williams, who is also a current senior at St. Joseph High School. He was recruited collegiately for football. He was made offers by William & Mary, Lehigh, Bucknell, Fordham, Cal Poly, USD, Yale, Holy Cross, Ohio, West Point, and UTEP. Congrats, Tyler. Your hard work seems like it is certainly paying off. So congratulations on all of those, offers. We also learned that he accepted his offer from UTEP, University of Texas at El Paso, based on his chemistry with the coaching staff. Tyler is an honors and AP student who is an altar server, plays football and track, and is also a youth minister on campus. Tyler, thank you so much for being here.
It's a pleasure to be here.
How wonderful. I'm so excited to be sort of in your presence and to learn from all 4 of you guys. And so I'm super, super excited. But before we begin our conversation this morning, I want to take some time to ask each of you what you have brought to drink today. I have brought something that looks like coffee, but it is hot cocoa. We ran out of K-cups with coffee, so I go to the next best thing. And so this is one of my favorite diners over in Temple City, Chefs. But I would love to see what Erinn brought. Erinn, what did you bring to drink today?
Well, I am always drinking coffee all day long, and this is my favorite mug. One of my moms bought this for me right before we went back to school because I kept saying how I hated the term unprecedented, and I do a weekly coffee talk on Facebook with my families, and I said, basically, if you ate a candy every time I said the word unprecedented last summer, everybody would have gained 100 pounds. And so one of the moms got this mug for me. It says, I miss precedented times. And I do miss precedented times. So I'm drinking coffee.
Oh, that is the best coffee cup I've seen in a long time. So I'm glad you brought it. I told we were preparing for this episode. I was like, you need to bring that. So please, our guests will love that. Thanks, Erinn. Next up, Pepe, is there something that you enjoy every morning? And what did you bring this morning?
So my mug says dream big, pray bigger. Which obviously couldn't be any more true. I do have coffee in here, although my wife always makes fun of me because she says it's not coffee because I put so much cream or sugar. It's more like a milkshake than it is coffee, but it definitely gets me going in the morning.
Certainly so. Oh, Pepe, thanks for sharing. I appreciate that. Marlee, did you bring anything that you're drinking on?
I just have my mug with some water today.
There you go. Stay hydrated. True athletes in the house. I love that. Tyler, anything special you're drinking?
I have water as well because we have football practice later on today, and I gotta stay hydrated.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Tell them what your mug says, Tyler.
Yeah, what does that say? Are you willing to share it with all of us?
Hold on. I can't read it this way. Today is going to be awesome.
Forward thinking. That's how we do that. You wake up every morning, you just got to proclaim it. I love that. Good job. Good stuff, Tyler. Thanks everyone for sharing. I appreciate that. That's sort of our way to break the ice and get a little personal with our guests each week. And so we love it and we'll keep it going. And I'll probably, switch to coffee here very, very soon once we get more K-Cups. And so, so without further ado, let's just jump right into our conversation today. And so this will be sort of funny and a little off topic, but probably not at all. And I say topic because of what we prepared in our dress rehearsal and making sure we were all ready for today's episode. So Erinn and for Pepe, either one of you, feel free to chime in. Your school's seal. I'm probably not going to do a good job pronouncing it, but in mente, corde, corpore, et anima, imitari Christum. What does this mean, and how would you say St. Joe's lives up to this?
Well, it's our motto. And I think actually one of the kids could kind of speak to it, but our goal, our motto, and what we live at the school is we want to help each of our students and each of us as faculty and staff. Every day we want to strive to image Christ in mind, heart, body, and soul. And that's what it says right on our academic crest.
That's very, very good. That's that's definitely motivating enough to get out of bed and to do that. That's a tall task every day, but for administrators to keep that at their focal point, I think that's pretty important. And it seems like you guys are doing a great job at that. And so thanks for answering that. How now would you say life is in Santa Maria, either Erinn or Pepe? And by that, I mean, more so life outside of school and the community that surrounds your school. If you can paint a picture as far as geographically, what Santa Maria looks like for you all there close to school.
Well, Santa Maria is in the Central Coast. I previously had taught in Los Angeles and was stuck in traffic most of the time, my commute to and from work. But the Central Coast is absolutely fantastic. We have the fortune of being able to have the mountains as well as the ocean. Traffic is limited. It's an agricultural community that does have industrial concepts to it, but it's mostly family-based agricultural community where particularly the St. Joe community is a very family-oriented community, which takes on the landscape that we have here in the Central Coast.
Beautiful, beautiful. I've been up there maybe a handful of times, and I love what it looks like out there. I don't think I've gone as far as Santa Maria, and I would love to get out there someday very, very soon as well too. But thank you for painting that picture. I think that gives us good context behind the dedication that each family has to send their kids to St. Joe and to get a Catholic education there at the school as well too. Erinn, is there I guess a few points that you could touch on as far as college counseling? Obviously, we're in a pandemic. You guys are very unique in the sense that you have returned to in-person instruction much earlier than a lot of the other schools. And so as far as college counseling before, during, and now, what does that look like at your school? And how have you, I guess, continued that through this wild year?
It's funny, and it's great that Sharon's here because she really was a part of so much of this planning. And sometimes I think back to conversations that Sharon and I had when we were implementing new ideas and planning, and I just see the Holy Spirit in those conversations, because so many of these things that we put into practice when we shifted into the pandemic, and even now that we're back in school, we've been back since October, but we're physically distancing. It really was the hand of God that led us to so many of these decisions that made things so smoothly move into the pandemic. An aside, not having to do with college, but we moved to the Canvas learning management system, which is the learning management system used by the UCs and the Cal States. And it's how we were doing business before the pandemic. And it meant that when the pandemic came, we were able to shift seamlessly. And that wasn't a decision we made because of COVID. It was a decision we made 2 years before COVID. And then I look at college counseling. Sharon and I had discussed that it was an area of growth for us. And so we made the decision to hire an outside college counselor, a professional from Santa Barbara. She's a really awesome Catholic and woman, and we were really lucky to get her. Her name's Vanessa Pelton. And so she'd been a director of admissions down in Santa Barbara. And so she started coming up twice a month, having these meetings for our students, and she would and our families. And so she would have these evenings geared toward, freshmen, what do you need to do now to get ready for college in 4 years? Sophomores, starting your resume and your brag sheet, tracking your service, junior year, ACTs. And so she has all of these very specialized evenings for each grade level multiple times a year. And then on top of that, she does college counseling one-on-one with families, helping students craft their CV and their narratives and their essays, knowing where to apply, getting them ready for their college interviews. And the school pays for that. And it's a service that we give to our families, in addition to our full-time counselor who's on campus. And so we started doing that August of 2019. And so when the pandemic came, she still offered her services. She just did them via Zoom. And so we'd send the links out to families and say, okay, tonight from 6 to 7 are sophomores, 7 to 8 are juniors. And then, call Mrs. Brackett, who's my assistant, when they wanted their one-on-one meetings with Dr. Pelton. And so it was a very seamless move. And so, that's one of those God things that we couldn't have known how well this would translate into a pandemic world. But this might be a good opportunity. If you're interested, we can show you kind of our first day back, and it gives you an idea of what campus looks like at St. Joe's. Would you guys be interested in seeing that?
Absolutely, Erinn, definitely. That's a good segue. I love that. So yeah, please feel free to share the screen and take control of those things and optimize that sound, and we're ready. Yeah, thank you, Erinn.
All right, and then let me know, thumbs up, thumbs down, if the sound isn't good. I've got a backup sound plan, okay?
Don't be discouraged, don't realize it's hard to take courage in a world full of people. You can lose sight of it on the darkness inside you makes you feel so small. And I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors are beautiful, like a rainbow. Show me a smile then. Don't be unhappy, can't remember when I last saw you laughing. If this world makes you crazy and you're taking all you can bear, just call me up, because you know I'll be there. And I'll see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors are beautiful, like a rainbow.
So that is our campus, and that was our first day back, which was, oh my gosh, like it seems like 5 minutes ago, and it seems like October was 10 years ago. It's been a crazy ride. And a few changes is the language in Santa Barbara County initially was that you could wear any facial covering. And so you see in that video that teachers were wearing these face shields, although the language changed in late October. and it went back to masks. And so now you only wear a face shield with a mask, and you're only unmasked if you're alone in an office with the door closed. So that's maybe the one difference in the video is now our teachers all are wearing masks, and many are wearing masks in addition to face masks, or they were, but now pretty much the entire school, all faculty who's wanted a vaccination has had at least their first vaccination shot. And so now we're seeing fewer masks and shield combos and more just masks. But
Yes.
it's been really a gift. And so I think you saw the one-way hallways, you saw the temperature scans. Actually, probably one of the kids who the day in the life of check-in could tell you about what it's like to arrive on campus every day.
That would be great. Can we do that? Marlee or Tyler? Marlee.
Yeah, so right when we get on campus, we go to a temperature check-in station with our masks on. We are temperature taken. Then we get a sticker on the side of our arm that clarifies that we have checked in for the day. And then we go to our class using the one-way hallways and just continue with our daily schedules.
What happens when you get to so you fill out the health app, right, to get your
Yeah.
taken, and you show them that your health app is passed. And then when you walk into the class, you sanitize. And what happens when you sit down at your desk?
The teacher sprays down everybody's desks, and then you wipe it down along with the sneeze guard too. It's also there.
In between each class. That's sort of the safety that we all can only imagine, and so you know detailing that for us is very, very helpful. So thank you so much, and knowing that your staff and the administrators are taking the utmost precautions and care of you all as you attend is very, very important, and that sets an example for the rest of the schools as well too. So thank you. And I did see in the video, and I really loved it, is the fact that it seems like the choice is also given to the students and to the families, probably based on their comfortability or based on maybe other factors as well too. If they want their kids to go back into school, they have that choice to go in, and if they do feel more comfortable being at home, that they can also do that as well. And correct me if I'm wrong, but how does that actually work for, I guess, a synchronous sort of flow? Do you guys have like a camera in the classroom watching the teacher?
Yeah, Pep should speak to this because he's teaching Spanish 2 honors right now.
I see. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, so every single teacher obviously is teaching to their students that are present, but we are also Zooming to obviously those young men and women who are at home. And one of the things that I truly have recognized is when sometimes kids feel, well, if I stay at home, obviously I have the comforts of home, but I also have the ability to probably get answers where regularly I wouldn't. But they've come to realize when I come to school physically, I actually do a lot better. Not to mention obviously these kids have gone through so much through this pandemic that just the social atmosphere of being able to be around your peers and your fellow students certainly has lifted them up. I have spoken to countless parents of how they felt their young daughter or son was just different when they were at home during the pandemic and didn't have the opportunity to have that social aspect. And when they did come on campus, even if they weren't playing athletics, that they saw their mood change. And so we truly do have obviously the blessing of being able to have both, but we have seen more and more students come back to class physically.
That's good. Oh, that's remarkable. Yeah. And I mean, that's always the next curiosity is how many are actually engaging in coming back, especially during the current sort of status that we're in. I know we're in different counties. Let's see if we can get everybody muted. That's amazing. But yeah, just knowing that there are those committed few that are ready to be back in the school is refreshing. And so I'm going to use that opportunity really quickly just to ask Marlee and Tyler, are you both in campus or are either one of you choosing to stay at home? Let's go with Tyler.
Yes.
You're on campus?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. And I'm sure that probably helps with sports as well, huh?
Absolutely, it does.
Yeah. Okay. And Marlee, are you also on campus or are you still doing Zoom?
I'm on campus every day, yes.
Yes. Okay. And this is, I mean, it's such exciting news. I think we were able to, a few weeks ago, speak to another school that had also gone back like in the fall. And so now having you at school for such a long time, albeit it's very, very different, obviously. I'm sure that's probably very helpful. And do you guys see it that way? Marlee, do you see that it's been helpful to be back in campus and, like Pepe was saying, being around your peers?
Yes, for sure. It's great to be able to interact with my peers, my friends, and my teachers more one-on-one, and just to be able to feel more comfortable asking questions. Of course, there's a similar experience on Zoom, but just mainly the social aspect, I feel like has really improved, and being able to do athletics as well has been amazing.
Yes. I'm actually gonna jump right into that too. I'm gonna ask Pepe and then probably just segue right into both of you as well too. What we do want to see is how has college prep changed for these athletes, that we have on today's session primarily. But if you want to touch on just all athletes as well too, Pepe, how has that changed from pandemic? You guys finished the school year, started, and then now that you're back in the campus for a select few, how has that changed, and what do you see moving forward for Marlee and Tyler?
Well, for Marlee and Tyler, I mean, the fact that California has opened up their restrictions to allow all these young men and women to be able to participate in athletics, but specifically the seniors. Obviously, for a considerable amount of time, we weren't doing any athletics. Then we converted to having strict protocols in terms of cohorts. And at least that allowed the student athletes to have some level of normalcy, regardless of where they lived. Obviously, the restrictions here in Santa Barbara County were very strict during the heightened phase of the pandemic. And so even though the communities had a lot of restrictions and protocols, the fact that the student athletes were able to come on campus and have some level of practice brought some normalcy to their life, and you could see their attitudes and their spirit changed. In terms of college prep, recruiting process, things of that nature, I do believe it has hurt some of our particular seniors because they haven't been able to demonstrate their talents. Also at the NCAA level, they granted an extra year, which then limited scholarship opportunities. But all of our coaches were very proactive in regards to promoting the student athletes, getting their grades out, report cards, and things of that nature in order to place our student athletes in the best position to be accepted to the universities of their choices.
How wonderful. Yeah, no, and that's the first thing that we thought as a team. How does sports look if you don't even get a chance to be on the field? And that being such a monumental year, that senior year, the most current. I was a varsity football player too, played all 4 years, and that senior year is the one where you shine, and that senior year is the one where people kind of reach out. And so I'm sure that must have been so difficult and so different, but it does seem that we've got lots of offers for both for Tyler and Marlee's got tons of choices. And so I'm glad to see that you guys have stuck with that, and the counseling and the prep for college has been very strong, it seems, there at St. Joseph. So we appreciate you all for dedicating your time towards your students. And so I'm going to move the questions, shift them over a little bit to our seniors. And so this will be for Marlee and Tyler, and we'll just kind of jump back and forth. Whoever wants to go first, that's totally fine. And the first thing we wanted to see is that, knowing that you all have been on campus for a while now, what can you say, or what would you say are a few aspects of high school that you and your class of seniors are still sort of missing out on? Marlee, if you could share first, that'd be great.
That we're missing out on, I would definitely say spectating a lot of the games. We definitely have a lot of school spirit together, especially watching our football and basketball teams. So we have some big rivalries across the street with Rigetti that we're missing out on seeing as of now. But I would definitely say the athletics, spectating is what we're missing out on. But if you're an athlete yourself, it's really nice to be back competing, even if not very many people are watching.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's a good perspective. I like that. And Tyler, how about you, for you and your other athletes as well too? What is maybe one or two things that you could say, like, man, we're back, but I mean, we're still missing out on these few things?
The fans definitely is one thing. Obviously we're blessed to be back playing and all that, but just having fans, it really I feel like it helps the team's morale. a lot, and it changes the atmosphere and the energy that comes with the football games and all the other sports. And then another thing that I personally really miss is, having our class unity. It's kind of hard to, be friends with everybody and, like just have that unity that you would normally have in a senior year whenever there's some people that, don't quite feel safe yet coming back on campus.
Right. No, that's totally understandable. It's like, yes, the doors are open, but then you actually go probably into the classroom and sit down, and you're like so many, desks missing, chairs and students missing from those chairs. And so, yeah, I just wanted to touch up on that too, that the realities are very vivid, for you all too. And so we're glad that you're back in, and you're so fortunate to be back. There's so many schools that aren't, but yeah, I just wanted to hear your guys' perspective on that. So that's great. Thanks for sharing on that. And also, I guess on a flip side, we'll go back to both of you as well too. Is just what is one thing I would say that you're not missing out on, especially knowing that there's so many students that are still at home on a living room couch in their bedrooms going to school. Can you guys highlight a few things that you're just happy that you're back, and things that you're definitely not missing out on? Tyler, if you can go first.
So it's my senior year. I decided I would do something fun, and I actually decided I was going to take drama this year. And drama at home, for a little bit in the first semester, it wasn't really as fun. But now that we're on campus and I actually get to sing and act out stuff with my classmates, it's so much fun, and I really enjoy it.
Yes. Yeah. Without your brothers and sisters and your family, right? Having some sort of judgment in eyes. You're like, I'm on stage now, man. Leave me alone. Oh, that's beautiful. Marlee, anything that you can highlight?
I would say that something I'm happy to have back is more of a solid routine, getting out of my house, going to school, going to practice, and just having that sturdy schedule and being able to go out and interact with more people physically. I would say I'm really happy to have back.
Oh, that's good. That's super encouraging too, especially where anyone who's watching today and who's watching in the future, there is a big, I guess, a split, a break, a dichotomy between those camps of people that are like ready. I can't wait. I want to be with my friends, and I want to just go back to normal. And there's a lot that are on the other side of that too, where they're just like, it's just too early. And so it's very encouraging to see you all bringing your perspectives and so much that you're learning and so much that you're gaining from being back on campus. That sports thing is probably a huge thing as well too. Erinn, I think you mentioned in the dress rehearsal too, it's a big point in your guys' year right now with sports as well too. And Pepe just went over it too, is that you guys, they just sort of let go of some of those restrictions, and you guys are having games now. And so what are the sports that are in now? And then at a game, what does it look like? Are only the students allowed to be there because they're all at school together? So, or how does that look?
Pep, I'll let you start this one.
So last Friday, being the Feast of St. Joseph, we certainly were blessed to be able to have our first football game last week. The way they're doing it in our county, it does depend on the school districts, but we were allowed to have 2 tickets per player. It had to be a family member that was in the household, and we were at the last second allowed to have cheerleaders. So we did kind of have a high school vibe and atmosphere that I know all the parents and cheerleaders as well as us coaches enjoyed. One of the true blessings that we have had is we partnered up with the Santa Maria Times, and all of our games are being live streamed. I see Teresa Funk had asked that question. And so obviously those parents, grandparents, relatives, I even have friends in the East Coast who watched our game. And I think that was very cool for our student athletes and also our community to be able to watch that live. So we're truly blessed to have that. God willing, as we go on, those restrictions will open up and more fans will be able to go there. But I know, particularly me being the head football coach, our young men are, even though we would like more fans, they know that the blessing of just being able to play when for so long we thought we weren't going to get that opportunity is at the forefront of their minds and their hearts.
Oh, wow. That's exciting. Erinn, also, if you guys want to check your chat feature, Erinn went ahead and put the link up for the Santa Maria Times, and she's showing us right now. Erinn, if you unmute, your picture will
That's
be the
me. Can
main
you
one
see
for
me?
us.
There's me wearing Pepe's headset. I just want to say I had some very integral. I don't know why you're laughing, Tyler. I called a play. I want to say I was pretty boss out there. It was
You had like headphones, like you were part of the coaching line there.
Yeah, we were ahead 44-0. So Pepe let me call a play.
Well, she actually told me that if I didn't give her my headset, she would fire me. So I had to give her the headset.
Tomato. He was excited to bring me in.
I love it. That's amazing. No, I mean, geez, this is such an eye-opening experience for us all too, with sports, and especially with. I remember playing football, and the thing about football in the world is you play during the cold months, and if you're grateful or if you're lucky enough to play close to Thanksgiving, then you're doing good as a team, and so that's got to be totally different for everybody now. It's like you guys are in the springtime, you guys are playing in the most optimal weather now, so.
But I mean,
That's
it
great.
was pretty. Our poor cheerleaders, their little hair was all like stuck to there. So it was raining, Central Coast fog and rain. And I live in Solvang, so I'm about a half hour south of school. It's Hamlet and Ophelia. I had to move to the Danish Village, and it was like almost 2 hours to get home in the fog from Paso Robles, and our kids, it was a good hour and a half, right, to get back home. But it was so great to be out, and we were all physically distanced, and but now everybody's used to wearing their masks. Although I will say it's a hazard when it's raining. When your cloth mask gets wet, it does. I needed wipers because anyway, it doesn't matter, but I was all foggy. But it was fantastic to be hanging out with the parents, and there was just so much joy. And I know that there weren't as many. Usually the stands are packed and our kids are there, which we love. But there was something just really joyful about there. So few of us that we could talk to people 30 feet away. Like there was definitely just so much love in the stands, and it was so great to see our kids play. And the kids were so happy. But I'm going to tell you what doesn't usually happen. Thursday and Friday night. Thursday was JV football. Friday was varsity football. Tennis was Wednesday that week, Marlee? I think tennis was Wednesday?
Thursday.
Tennis is Thursday. JV football is Thursday. Varsity football is Friday. Swim, it was Saturday. I went to a rodeo breakfast for the school, and then I went to,
Baseball
11 o'clock was varsity baseball. And so then I was at varsity baseball, and our student who was pitching in varsity baseball was the thrower on Thursday night in JV football. And so it's just
So when she says thrower, she means the quarterback.
Right.
Yeah. Same difference. And so it's just bananas to see these kids who were in so many, and our cheerleaders, like Vashti, I think 4 of the cheerleaders are also on swim. So there are 15 sports happening.
And they're all going to
all at the same time. Oh, and wait, here's a little PS. We had a water leak. Pep, when was that? 7 weeks ago?
Yeah, a line break.
So I get a phone call from our gardener, and he says, "Hey, there's some water on the field." And I said, "What do you the sprinkler's happening with water on the field?" And he said, "No, I think you should get up here." And so Pepe went over, and then Pepe sends me a video, and I'm on my way up to the school. I think it looked like a swimming pool had occurred in the middle of our AstroTurf football field. Oof. And so by the time, we've got a great plumber who's Aero Plumbing. If anyone's in the Santa Maria area, they're fantastic. Yes. They came, they got the water off. They did a really great job, but we had a huge sinkhole in the middle of our football field. And we had no idea when soccer and football were going to come back and need that field. And so we were really gratefully blessed that between fundraising and insurance, we were able to get a brand new field is now underway being put in. Actually, yesterday, they actually started laying the field. A lot of that first couple of weeks of them putting in a field is just bulldozing things and leveling things. But so we've got now 15 sports going on, including 4 that require use of our field. And our field won't be done for another week and a half.
Oof.
So
But
when
to
it
speak on
rains,
that, Johnny, that's how great this St. Joe community is. We needed a field, and we ended up finding an alumni who has this huge, beautiful ranch, which typically he has weddings and things of that nature at, that has allowed us to be able to practice there. Our boys and girls soccer, both our JV and varsity football, and it's been an absolute blessing because the truth is we wouldn't have been able to go anywhere due to the fact that obviously there's restrictions at public parks. And so that's a true testament of, the great alumni base that we have here at St. Joe and that close-knit community. Also, to kind of piggyback on all these sports happening, I can't tell you how many times I've spoken to parents, and sometimes parents get a little animated, and me being a football coach, a coach, maybe you should run this, or maybe you should run that. And it was none of that. I mean, these parents and our community are half of them told me we can care less whether we win or lose. We just love seeing the kids run around. So not only does it bring normalcy to the student athlete and the kids, but I also think it lifts the spirits of our community and our parents and our grandparents. So it's even though the pandemic obviously has been a struggle and has had its dark times, I think we are starting to see a lot of light and God's love and favor within our lives.
oh, we had parents crying after that first kick thing
Mhm.
when the boys started playing.
The kickoff, Erinn.
The first, same thing. There were definitely parents who were like crying, just so happy to watch the boys.
Really?
I mean, and you could hear, it's not that they were just like all of the parents. And that's another thing about being said such a small school where we are a family. When Tyler caught the ball for the touchdown, like everybody was screaming Tyler's name. Everybody was yelling for Mac. When Erinn got put in and Gillen got put in, like some of our boys who are really great athletes in the heart of the team, but maybe not first string, all the parents were shouting for them. Like all of the kids were being recognized by name, by every parent. And like our parents were, we were a very small group out there, but if you had just closed your eyes, you could smell, like it was the smell of football, right? Like, and you could hear, it didn't feel like there were only 50, 75 parents in those stands. It felt like the stands were full. And, there was a lot of love for our kids and for, the parents. I'd like to say we didn't know if our cheerleaders were going to be able to cheer because SLO County, where the game was being held, announced on Tuesday that there were going to be no sideline cheer. And then a lot of our parents, not just the cheer parents, a lot of our parents really advocated all across the county for the sideline cheerleaders to be able to cheer. That was approved. And you know what? It wasn't just the football plays that were getting cheers. It was also like after the girls would do a cheer, parents were like, great job, girls. I mean, like they got a lot of love too. It makes me proud to be at a school where I really do feel like all of our kids are seen. And I don't know I hope Tyler and Marlee, you guys feel this way. I feel like you're all known, you're all seen, and you're all loved. And there isn't like one kid who's loved the most. I mean, I think that you all feel every single kid on campus is known. And I think that that's part of being part of a small school. And what attracts people to a place like St. Joe's is that there's no kid who's flown under the radar. It's pretty impossible.
That's remarkable. And that's very special that you said that too. It's very important for the students to know that you are not overlooked, and everything that you are doing, it doesn't go unnoticed. So how awesome to get that little glimpse into sports. And oh man, I can't believe it's probably like the first event that people have been to, live in so long. So of course that's like love is just spread amongst everyone at the St. Joe community. And it's so nice to hear it. I got, riled up just hearing you guys talk about it. So I'm going to ask a few more questions to the students. We're so excited for your futures, and we're so excited to hear the potential that you guys all have. And it's very, very high. So quick question to both of you. Have either of you been able to go on any like college visits to these schools that you've applied to or UTEP that you accepted? Have you seen the college before? Do they give you like a virtual tour maybe? Tyler, go first, and then Marlee, if you could follow up.
So no, I had a lot of Zoom calls with the coaches since this is a big decision. It's gonna be where I'm spending the next 4 years of my life, and then it'll affect me even after those 4 years. It's a lifelong decision. So I made sure to talk to the coaches a lot. I even just if it wasn't anything serious about like sports or anything, it was it was just like small talk and all that. And then on the Zoom calls, they would use the screen share feature and just show me around and give me kind of virtual tours. And then, my parents were able to be on those Zoom calls as well. So they got to ask all the questions that they had. And even though I haven't stepped on campus yet, it already feels like my home.
Oh, that's beautiful. And Marlee as well too. Have you been able to take advantage of any sort of maybe virtual tours or being able to go to some of these closer schools like I guess like a UCSD and let us know your experience.
Yeah, luckily in late 2019, I saw quite a few northern schools on our school college trip, but recently I haven't been able to tour, only virtually. Luckily, I've been able to do some online research about a few schools, and I've seen schools that are local like Cal Poly, but I'm looking forward to when it's safe to go look at some schools and figure out what one that I will attend.
Yes, absolutely. That's great. And so I'm going to pop over to the chat and wow, St. Joe's is they know their environment right now. Zooms, you speak, you can also go to the chat. And so they've been helping us out. And so they've been sending links and Pepe has been responding. And I don't know if everybody's seen because it is for everyone, but yes, we had a question come in on whether Tyler decided yet and where he's going. And of course, Erinn replied, he's going to University of Texas, El Paso. In the intro, I mentioned it as UTEP, but yeah, that's where he's going to be going, and that's a good plug for the very next question as well too for us. I'm going to ask both the athletes. Tyler, chemistry with the coach, how important is this for you and why?
It's really important, especially since I've developed such a great relationship with Coach Pep. I feel like I can talk to Coach Pepe about everything. So when I was looking for a college, that's kind of that I was trying to develop that same kind of relationship with my college coaches. And I got to talk to the head coach, which was amazing. He's a great guy. And then my position coach, he was the one who, I kind of have the best relationship on the team with. He's always texting me after every game, asking how I did. And then I'm a fun guy, so sometimes I mess around with him. And I'm like, man, if I played you in high school, you wouldn't know what to do. And
Yes.
so it's definitely a huge part
Right.
of choosing a school.
That's very, very good to mention as well too, because that, like you said, you are very focused and very aware and recognizing that yes, this is 4 years, the next 4 years, being that it's probably in the middle of pandemic season also, so it's going to have its challenges off the field, and then it'll also affect your trajectory going forward in life, and so to make a decision like this, it holds a lot of weight. But making action and deciding is one of the next things to do. And you guys have done that. And so I'm very proud of you and good luck to everything that you're doing. And you made a decision in a wise way. So that's great. Thanks, Tyler. And let's go over to Marlee now too. Oof, you seem to have so many wonderful choices for your next step in advancing your education. I'm sure you're super excited. Your family has to be very, very, very excited and proud of you as well too. Will you share with us perhaps maybe the guiding force behind your upcoming commitment to any one of these extraordinary institutions?
I feel like it's pretty difficult right now, trying to choose. There's a lot of different factors that go into it, just listening to your gut and looking for a school that has that balance of athletics and a great social life and a good location. Once I visit those schools, I feel like I'll have a lot better idea. Right now, it's a bit difficult when you don't see the students on campus, so you don't get that exact atmosphere, but I'm hoping once I see the environment of the schools and once I visit those, that will be a big deciding factor, along with the guidance of my family, talking with my friends about it, maybe some advice from teachers here. But I feel like a culmination of all those different factors will really guide me to the school that I choose to attend.
My husband teaches one class at St. Joe's, AP Psychology, and Marlee's in his class. And actually, I think she's got the top score in the class right now. And Evan played tennis and went to Georgetown, and Marlee's considering Georgetown. And so actually he slipped in the past couple of weeks in our nightly prayers. and please let Marlee become a Hoya. So I just want to, no pressure, Marlee, but that's what Evan's rooting for.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome. And you know what? This is just personally for me. I am going to tell my daughter and my nephews and everything else, like, if you have that opportunity to go, like, home is amazing, family is number one. What you know is safe, but just go out there and experience. You never know what's coming your way. And so if you have that door open, walk through it to wherever it's going to be. It's all going to be a growing experience. So that's amazing. And we're having people jump into the chats as well too. And Jerry from she's one of our big founders for fine arts within the Catholic Education Foundation as well too. And she said, good luck. You guys deserve everything that's coming your way, Marlee and Tyler. And so we're all very, very proud of you too. And so we wish you nothing but the best. And Therese is coming in also saying that her son went to Georgetown too. It's a beautiful, beautiful city. You got so much around you over there too. So that's wonderful. I love it. Different weather. So be prepared for sure, but I'm sure the same with UTEP too. But yeah, oh my goodness, like I'm gonna say it again, broken record, but we never have enough time to sit down and get all the best things from all of our guests. But we are so excited that everybody has come, and I'm gonna end this off with one last question. This will be for Erinn and Pepe. Is there going to be a graduation for seniors? And if so, please explain.
So we had a graduation last year, and this poor Sharon was like my emotional support friend as we planned graduation. And so she could probably answer this question for us. But last year we had a drive-in graduation. And so we just had our numbers. So, and it wasn't the tiers then, it wasn't the colors then, it was a very different system back in the day. But we had just moved to the point where the parents all had to stay in cars. And we hired the company who does the production for our plays, Bill Gaines Audio out of San Luis. They brought 2 huge movie screens. And so we had 2 big movie screens, and the kids were all physically distanced more than 6 feet apart, which Pepe, wasn't that a fun day when we put all those chairs up? At one point, Pepe and Tom, one of my other assistant principals, they were like, you're not helping, just go sit down. I was like, okay. So it was a lot of manual labor. And so we set up the seats for the kids and for administration and Father Ed. And then all the parents were in cars. We had to do like a lottery for who got to park where. And it was so windy the night of graduation, they were having trouble getting the screens up. And I remember looking at the guy from Bill Gaines Audio, and Pepe was like, don't worry, don't cry. And I said, like, if you cannot get these screens up and these parents cannot see graduation, you need to give me like a 10-minute head start, because I'm going into hiding. Like, that's it. You'll never see from me again. And so luckily, like, they put it on trucks and it was a whole thing. But so we had graduation last year. And then this year, we're still we are definitely going to do graduation. We know that it's going to be on June 9th. And we're going to do a series of Father Ed is working with us. I think we're going to combine Black Baccalaureate Mass. It's obviously going to have to be outside. It's obviously going to have to be physically distanced. And we're really lucky that we really get along with public health in Santa Barbara. Like, we have a really great education liaison. Susan Klein Rothschild is fantastic. She always answers our calls. If she doesn't know the answer, she finds the answer for us. She's super helpful and very pro-education. And so she'll guide us in making sure that we don't break any rules, because obviously being in school is the most important thing, and we don't ever want to do anything to jeopardize that. But we'll work with public health, and we'll make sure, we're thinking maybe right now putting the kids, having them be the first people on the new field. That's going to be investing in new chairs, because I think Pepe and the soccer coaches will murder us if we put chairs with spokes into the new field. But, I think that we're trying to think creatively about maybe letting our senior use new field, because we know it's going to have to be open air, because 250 seems to be that number in Santa Barbara that you can't go over, even indoors. And so we know it's not going to be indoors, it'll be outdoors. So we're working on it. But of course, my kids are going to graduate. Like, if they know that we would never, ever not have a graduation for them.
Oh no, you clicked on mute right at the last few words.
Oh, sorry. We would never, ever not have, the kids know Ms. Guja, Father Ed, Mr. Villasenor, Mr. Mott, Mrs. Garcia, and myself, like our leadership team. I would move heaven and earth to make sure that they got their special days, and they know that we all would do that. So it's I always think, is this Christ-centered? Is it good for the kids? And that's in our leadership meetings. Those are always the questions we ask whenever we make a big decision. Is this decision Christ-centered? Is this decision good for kids? And so, of course, we would move heaven and earth. We would do anything that we had to make sure that our kids got to be recognized in their special moments. And we need to, it's hard for us when they graduate, they're excited to leave, but we're like hysterical watching them leave us. And we need that closure and then our opportunity to fellowship and have mass together and say goodbye to them. Not goodbye forever, but just I won't see you every day.
What's the size of your graduating class? Tyler, Marlee, and how many others?
I mean, are there 90? Last year there were 91. I think there were 99 this year. Pep, 99.
Okay.
Correct.
Wow, extraordinary. So we have so much joy. Everyone on the call as well too, sending in all your kudos as well too. Erinn, Pepe, you guys do extraordinary work. I wish we can speak more today right now, but we would love to have you on again, maybe in next season. We'll probably have like a fall time, and maybe we could see the progress that has been made and see the beautiful field maybe as well too once it's all completed. So I just want to say thank you so much for being here, Marlee and Tyler. I know you guys are busy. You guys are missing class. Lucky.
Now mass is just about to start. We just missed the opening hymn. I can hear it outside my window.
I will hurry up then. Well, I just want to say thanks, Tyler. Thanks, Marlee, Pepe, and Erinn. Thank you so much for everything you do for the St. Joe community and just being fixtures out there in the Santa Maria community as well too. I'm sure all your families are super proud of everything you're doing, and you guys go the extra mile. You had coffee talks and you were keeping people in the loop every week, and so amazing job. It was a testament to how great your administration is over there and the leadership you put behind it. So thank you so much. Thank you for everyone. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen just to do some last couple announcements before we take off. One being that I would love to just say thank you to all the Catholic schools that are out there working very hard, dedicating their work to make sure that their students have a quality education. And so if this episode has touched your hearts and you feel that you can give right now, please visit our website at www.cefdn.org. And remember that 100% of your donation will support our tuition award program and go directly to the students. If you'd like to learn more about St. Joseph High School, please visit them at www.sjhsnights.com. Their website is beautiful. I was there for a long time before I even reached out, and so you guys keep everything clear and easy to navigate. So thank you for that. So if you need any other questions answered, feel free to reach out to Pepe and Erinn and the rest of their staff. I'm more than sure that they'll be able to help you guys. And another announcement as well too is that before we close out, I also want to say that CF will be taking a break in preparations for Easter Sunday. We won't have a Coffee with CF next Wednesday, but April 7th and on, we are going to close out this season. So stay tuned. We have many more heartwarming episodes for you throughout all of April. And of course, one last very fun finale to close out the season. So please remember to RSVP for our next episode, just as you did for this episode. At cefdn.org/coffee with CEF. And with that said, that concludes our episode. And one more big thank you to Pepe and Erinn and to Tyler and Marlee. Thank you so much. Good luck, students. The world is yours. Go out and get it. So, and the rest of our audience, if you want to unmute, say your thanks, give any words of love to the St. Joseph community, go ahead and do so now. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.